Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we are going to have a look at something here today. Now, before we do that, please don't forget to hit the old subscribe button as well as the like and share. Help me to spread my voice. Remember, when we hit 2,000 subscribers, we're giving away this CKC sleeper. It's the an offering by that it was by CKC Knives. And the sleeper is something that you definitely want to put inside your pocket, and we're going to give that away here. Mr. Adam Gibson designed that. Now, speaking of a couple of designers, we've got two that got involved in designing this knife. That seems to be Jens Ansel and Jesper Voxnes. They are a couple of fellows who know a whole lot about knives, comfort, execution, design, and they did a great job with this. Now, this thing here, I'm not going to go over every little thing about this. Is kind of my first impression. I got it from last night, and I ended up getting this kind of pre-owned, and it's just something that I have to do with the channel. Sometimes I can buy new, sometimes I gotta save some money. I'm certainly not like some of the big guys out there who get all their gear for free. I try to buy every single thing. I think I've only had a couple of knives there that were sent to me by Mr. Anderson. Was a great fella. And then we got Ab Gibson sent me this one. And so other than that, I got to buy some knives. And sometimes when they're pre-owned, they come not like you want them to. And this one here, I thought the fella had cleaned up these micarta scales. By the pictures he did, there was a post that he did that he cleaned them all up, and they're not. And the blade here is not very sharp either. So I am going to probably do a video of what it takes to recondition this, because this knife here, as far as I'm concerned, needs a good reconditioning. I'm going to clean it all up. I'm going to put an edge on it, and I'm going to pull it apart, show you the insides, clean that all up, lube, put it back together, and tune it the way I like it. And then we'll give a real good use of this, and then we'll review it. But for now, this just happens to be a little bit of a first impressions, and so far, wow, I am very, very blown away. Yes, this knife seems to be seems to be a little bit broken in, but it is smooth as butter. I am blown away by the ergonomics on this, the quality of the knife, the fit and finish. I love this wire clip on here. I especially really like this big beefy backspacer. It just adds a little bit of heft to the knife, and it adds, changes the balance of the knife. And I love this overall rounded kind of spine. So just to give you some idea of some of the technical things about this is about a 3.3 inch blade. Overall, it's just a smidge under 8 inches. If you've got yourself a Shaman, you can see that it's very, very similar to the Shaman. The Shaman is just a touch bigger. But, so far, I am blown away by this. Now, it doesn't have any thumb studs. It's got kind of a teardrop opening, and it's really, really awesome. When I do the Spidey flick, my finger fits in there absolutely perfectly, and it just, and that's just because, I didn't get a good grip on it, and you can see how well it flicks open. It's got a spot here for your thumb to flick it open. No problem. It rockets out. Now, I'm pretty sure that they've got themselves some bearings inside there, and if they do, it is a great set, because the action on this is tremendous. Now, the only thing that so far has been a little bit weird is the fact that this lock bar insert here is way up at the front. Lots of times they're down here a little bit, so when you're actually going to close it, lots of times I'll put my finger like that to go to close it, and there's no lock bar there. I got to kind of move it over and pull in like that before the lock bar moves. The other thing is, this is very, very flush. There's no real kind of cutout here to give you a little bit more access to the lock bar. And I watched a review a long time ago by, I think, Bearded Gear, and he ended up hollowing out his. That was something I think I might consider, but so far, it's not really as bad as some of the other stuff that's out there. Like, if you guys have got yourselves, this one here happens to be a Spyderco Gale Bradley 2, and you can see how I actually milled this out myself with just using my Dremel tool, and I really exposed the lock bar, and it made this knife 100 times more usable. But one of the things here, this lock bar insert was really, really rigid, and you had to move it quite a bit to close it. As you can see here, the lockup is about 50%, so there was a lot of ways it had to move. Where this lockup here is just barely in, maybe 15%, the first third. So there's very little that needs to move before this blade closes. So it seems to be way more comfortable. I might not do that that work to it. I might just leave it alone as it is. But of course, I have to put a tie on it. I want to clean up this micarta. I want to pull it open. I want to sharpen it. The blade's not very sharp. I imagine, it probably might have been sharp right out of the box, but it needs to be sharpened too. So this is a Elmax steel, which this is my first time owning Elmax steel too as well. So I wonder what it's going to be like to sharpen. I know there's some steels out there that it's quite difficult to sharpen, but I've sharpened Maximet, and it was supposed to be one of the hardest steels to sharpen. But, if you get yourself some really good diamond stones, they will plow through just about anything. So I'm really, really interested to see how this micarta is going to clean up. I'm also very interested in how this is going to sharpen. So, very nice contoured micarta. I'm very, very impressed with this. I really, really like this knife right off the bat. Now, this is supposed to be kind of a pale green micarta. And once I get it cleaned up, I think you'll see the original kind of color that comes back. And then, you know what? I might look at kind of dyeing this too as well. And, you never know. It might end up another purple knife. Who knows? I might decide to go blue this time. If you think this will look a lot better in a different color, maybe red, put it in the comments, and eventually we'll probably get there. We'll look at dyeing these micarta scales. But she's going to be cleaned up, and she's going to be sharpened, and she's going to have a lanyard put on it. But other than that, so far, excellent looking knife. And just a really beautiful design. The ergonomics are wonderful. I love this jimping here that's off. It allows you to, to really kind of get in there if you're doing some real kind of heavy duty, grunt work, and you need to have your thumb on there. It's not going to rip your thumb up. I love this overall rounded kind of spine. Just a lot of really small things that are done to this knife to give it that kind of premium feeling. And it looks like it's a very, very tough, well-built, solid knife with some nested steel liners in there too. So this knife has all the things going for it. I love it out of the box. Just need to kind of have it cleaned up and sharpened. And I think we're going to make a video of that process too as well, so you guys can have a look. All right. Please stay safe. One thing I forgot to mention really quick is today is International Women's Day. So if you want to appreciate your woman out there, get her to make yourself a sandwich, get her to do some laundry, get her to do the old clean up the dishes. I mean, women absolutely love it when you say, baby, it's International Women's Day, make me a sandwich. They love it. No doubt about it. All right, please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice. The shine us up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.